Hello everyone and welcome to Mount and Blade Warband mod the Last Days Overhaul. As you can see, I am dressed in my full elf cosplay as promised, also on the thumbnail. And I'm getting very hot in this, so I'm going to get the intro done with and I'm going to turn off the face cam and then get into the game. So, as promised, as everyone voted for, we're going to be starting with the Dawn of a New Era, playing as an elf, and we're going to be playing as the Woolen Elves under the rule of Lord Franduil, playing as a male. And I'm going to play as the more difficult start, the Greenwood Scouts. Weaker equipment overall, but honestly still not that difficult because you start off with elven equipment. And what I'm going to recommend is anyone that wants to play this as well, allow you to quit without saving, because sometimes will come where you need to have a save backup before trying to go into something. And if you're forced into a save, you can't go back and you lose all your progress. So that's what I'm going to do. We've got some starting equipment, and now we come to the name. I have chosen from a random elf name generator, Manadhon. And hopefully that will stick, because I can't think of many other good names that actually worked. And for our stats, I recommend, because you're the leader, there are some skills here that only you can attend to. So I would put points into charisma. I'm going to put all points into charisma. We will work on other things, of course, but I want to mainly focus on what we can do in particular. And also, let me know if you want to try try and do some mounted combat. As a woodland elf, we don't actually have cavalry, but doesn't mean I can't pick up a horse from somewhere. But we're going to start by putting points into wildcraft, at least 3. Going to put 1 point into leadership, 1 point into prisoner management, and I'm going to put 1 point into weapon master, because you want to get your proficiencies up in your weapon types. I'm going to put a lot of points into archery, but then I'm going to have the last of the points split between one hand and two hand, because our starting weapon is a bit garbage. I'm going to see what I can do to make our elf look as close to me as possible. You know what? That's probably it. Hair back a bit, slip behind the ears. Yep, that looks good. Age? No, I'm not that old. And yeah, I'm sticking to the blonde hair. So, Middle Earth, a shadow is growing in the east, and dark things come forth that have long been hidden. The free peoples prepare for war, the like of which has not been seen for an age. Men, elves, dwarves, and orcs all will play their part. What part, however, remains to be seen. I'm not going to do any of the cheats, but I'm going to change some TLD options. War starts at level 12. I recommend players that want to enjoy a good, quiet start and get all the things laid out. You want to start at least level 12. Any time before that, and you might start the war before you get any good things going on. Going to keep restrictions on player equipment, because otherwise you can just get things from every other faction when you defeat them. Town NPCs are accessible from the menu. I don't mind exploring the area around when you go into a town, but it is good to just have this open in case you can't find somewhere and you're wondering why you can't get this weapon or buy some food. And you don't want to spend 10 minutes doing that. Cutscenes is only like one cutscene, so it doesn't matter. Injuries for companions, yep. Permadeath for lords and companions. It does recommend on some sites to keep this on, because otherwise, lords not dying means that people just don't, that the war just keeps kind of dragging on a bit. But I think that is a lie, because I did a Isengard campaign with anyone who saw the post, Colin the Uruk. We got it done in about 200 days. Which sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's not. So let's turn off that permadeath, because you will be fighting a lot, and the AI is quite dumb. Animal ambush I'm going to turn off as well, because, yes. Prevent AI from taking the effect. No, that's fine. Brighter nights, yes. You're going to find out why we're going to need brighter nights. Okay, that is everything done. Nothing else needs to be done. Go forth upon your chosen path. I'm going to narrate a little bit for this one in this episode in particular. Might do it again when the war starts, just because there are some unique dialogues that you see here and there. But after this, I'm just going to be running through dialogue. I'm not going to waste a lot of time doing this. Oh, that's a lot of words. Okay. A shadow lies over the woodland realm, a poison spreading through the air itself from Dol Guldur. The Lord of Mordor has returned to his dark tower, and his lieutenants in Dol Guldur have turned much of Greenwood the Great, Elend Gallen, into places of great fear, where even your people, the Sylvan Elves of the North, will not freely go. Thranduil, son of Orather, leads your people, but has been cautious in his policy. Fresh is the grief of Dagorlad, perhaps to his memory. Yet now that the men of Dale are threatened by the coming war, your king has roused himself. Ever does he look to the south with a deep shadow in his heart, and long will he tarry ere he leads his people into likely ruin. But the day of decision is upon him. With spear and blade and bow, you will defend the borders of your realm at your king's command, and if need be, you are resolved to aid any who would stand against the common foe alongside the elves of Mirkwood. For fear speaks in your heart, as it does for many of your fellows, that if the old fellowships are not renewed and old allies come to ruin, then Mirkwood shall be darkened forever. All will fall beneath the shadow. We're not going to allow that. On your way back to the Elven King's Hall, after a patrol in the woods, you come upon some allies preparing to ambush a company of orcs. Let us ambush the orcs. Gonna bend over a bit more. I hope the light's not obstructing the camera too much. Yeah, you can see we've met some of our folk from Lorien ambushing some orcs, and they have been doing a very good job of killing them before I even get here. Thankfully, we woodland elves are fast, but in these woods, archery is not always recommended. But you can always try. Yeah, look how quick they killed them all. I didn't even get to kill one. Suilad Melon, it is rare to see one of our woodland king come to our aid. Lahanan. Alai, our golden woods, our green woods even, are heavily patrolled. Our thick gates stand firm, King Thranduil's hall secure. It would be wise to follow our example. We walk upon one under the sun and the stars. To dwell in caves is not our desire. Still, you're undoubtedly well met. I can't. Still, your undoubtedly well-meant counsel is well received. Your wisdom and brave deeds shall be known. Your needs met whenever you wander into our domain. This resource point tutorial is saying every faction has a unique resource that you can't. If, for example, you're with a Mirkwood, you can't use Mirkwood resources in Lothlorien. You have to have Lothlorien resources. Basically saying it's different currency. If I ever have need for the kind of help Lorien can offer, I shall come for it, whatever use it may be. The joys of the Golden Valley are many, and a true friend of Lorien is welcome to them. Should we stand shoulder to shoulder on the field of battle again, or should you do the bidding of Our Lady and her lords, our people will reward your efforts with all you would require: bright weapons, hard corsets of mail, deadly arrows, and nourishing food for your troops. Who knows, in time you might become a great lord of Lorien yourself, one who would share wisdom with others or ask favours of them. Talking about faction rank, basically every deed you do for a faction will give you points with them, which will give you a higher standing, which gives you passive resources per day, which means you can supply an army of them without needing to worry too much about them, but also buying other things from them. And there are also special gear you can get if you are high enough rank and you have the influence for them. That may be so. Some paths of the world run crooked. Bo Iwayan. I hope I said that right. I'm sure someone's going to be annoyed I said it like that. And here we begin. At Thranduil's halls in the Woodland Realm, let's get a quick map layout of the entire map. In the north, we have our allies to the east and north. We have the dwarves of Erebor and the Iron Hills. We have the men of Dale and Escorting that have been recently reunited. We have the foul orcs of Gundabad and Goblin Town that exists to our west. Going to be one of our greatest enemies, along with a small force from Rune to the east, soon to grow a lot larger if we're not careful. In the south, we have the men of the Anduin, who call themselves the Beornings. And even further south, we have our allies in the Golden Wood, the Lothlorien elves, and also some elves from Imladris, accompanied by some Dunedain that rode here through the Misty Mountains, past the gates of Moria and Troll's Cave, another adversary to deal with, but not as fearsome for us than the Gundabad orcs are. And then, of course, Dol Guldur, the great shadow that takes over our ancient home of Amon Lank. We shall one day reclaim it. or burn it if we need to. The treachery of Saruman has been known, and he has begun aiding the Dunlandings in their attempt to reclaim Rohan, in their belief that this is their birthright. The men of the West will need our help in time, but for now, Gondor and Rohan must stand alone against their enemies, and Gondor has many enemies. The Corsairs of Umbar have made themselves a home near Linhir. Pelargir is upset by the Haradrim. Unfortunately, no Mumakil will actually be fought, but they will be seen. And Isosgiliath has been taken by the orcs, so a constant contest for who rules the waters. And then, obviously, we have what's left. The Varyags of Khand have ridden up north and west to meet at the Black Gates Morannon. And there in the back is Barad-dûr, but we'll never actually get to see Barad-dûr in any kind of conflict because it's been blocked off by these two ways here. And that is the entire map. Let's get into some actual gameplay. And before I get rid of the face cam, let's just go into Thranduil's halls and talk to our commanders here. Let's go to the throne room. And let's see who is awaiting us. Thranduil's palace guard, and King Thranduil stands alone. Tariel and what used to be Legolas must be in one of the other camps. We shall speak with them in time. Let's first speak with our King Thranduil. I'm King Thranduil, King of the Wooden Realm and the ruler of Thranduil's halls, Wood Elf Camp and the Wood Elf West Camp. Very good in titles. Welcome Tauron, Forester of Greenwood. That's our title, by the way. You should already know that we are fighting against Rune and Gundabad. Your duty is to help in our struggle, Manadhon. When you prove yourself worthy of my confidence, level 10, I will also allow you to access to that chest over there for you to store your personal belongings. That's just level 10 in at my personal level, not my ranking level, thankfully. Although I never use the chest because there's no real point. Do you have a task for me? I have something you could help with. An issue with the lawless villain known as Calathea the Cursed. He murdered one of my bodyguards and has been seen on the run from his judgment ever since. There has been news recently that a fugitive has been seen at Wood Elf West Camp. You must be able to hunt him down and deliver him swift justice, and I'll reward you in turn. Then I will hunt him down and execute the law. That's excellent, Manadhon. I will be grateful, and of course, your prowess will be duly noted. Well, good hunting to you. And that is everything for that. We're also going to want to do some other stuff in here, and we're going to do that by going through the door to the town centre. And don't ask why we end up over here. That's just how the game works. While visiting towns, settlements, and camps, you can talk to people wandering around. Members of different factions have different things to say. Some will let you know, blah blah blah. Basically, if you talk to people, you'll get to know things. Some people are important, like our elder, who gives us other jobs to do. How can I serve our cause? Thanks for offering. Actually, I'm looking for someone to escort a supply train. Perhaps you can do that. I need at least 10 to do that, so I'm just going to give a swift refusal to that. And just carry on. We'll eventually do more things like carrying supply trains around, but what I want to do first is get our first companion, our first comrade in arms, and she is a fellow elf, Luivana. Leave me alone, stranger. I do not wish to speak to you. Is this how the Sylvan Elves greet their guests? I imagine this dialogue would be a little bit better if you actually played as a wooden elf and it was a bit different, but what can you do? Excuse my rashness, stranger, but we don't have many visitors here, and those that come do not look very trustworthy. Only a week ago, this dwarf appeared, and never mind. My name is Luivana of the Sylvan Elves of Mirkwood. I like to walk the hidden paths in our beautiful forest. Sometimes I move quietly through the trees and observe the habits of the many woodland animals. The song of a rare bird, the nesting of a wild boar are as beautiful to me as the clash of weapons and great walls are to the Edain. You wouldn't understand that, I think, seeing you prepared for war, but you must have travelled far and wide. Have you seen the other great forests? Can you take me there? We travel the world, but to defend all that is fair, we give battle to the enemy. I dislike violence and weapons of war, but I know how to defend myself in a hurry. Perhaps I can teach you to move faster and make less noise. Let's go. Very well, I hope you won't run away from the first orc we see. I would join you, but my duty is here. Yeah, let's give that one influence away. Good, give me a few minutes to prepare and I'll be ready to move. And in our company, we now have Luivana, who, when we get to talk to her, you'll find out she's a bit of a coward. She's not a fighter, but she, like all our other companions, can be given a lot of good stuff to work with. And this person, I actually want to learn what this is all about, because I've never actually figured out what this is. Corwheel, the soft-handed. I cannot attend to you as Tauron Forester of Greenwood, as there are more pressing matters. I need to be Thangil, Shield Bearer of Greenwood or higher, which I think is about rank 5. And I don't even know what this person does. Like, seriously, I don't know. There's like 3 other people that are like this. One in Dogwaldor, one in Gundabad, and I can't remember where the last one is. But basically, there's these people where you have to get a high rank in a faction, and then you get something. I don't know what something is, but we're going to find out soon. Anyway, let's check the smithy first, because I want to buy some... nice. A simple, large wooden club, because this dagger is useless. If you can't use it to block, then you might as well just get rid of it. That's all I can say about it. And I'm going to receive a good amount of resources for discarding the knife. And if you're wondering why I'm not giving it to Ivana, she already has a knife, and I can't replace that as well. So then, let us begin. We are 2 in company. We have a mission to go to the Wood Elf West Camp. And I'm going to quickly turn off the face camera and get out of this because I am sweating so much. Alright, all sorted, and let's begin our journey to the Wood Elf West Camp. We shall find the lawless villain and see who else is waiting for us there. If there are any other commanders that we can speak to there to give us on any other particular missions. We need to be careful though of some particular wild goblins. Our group is not yet big enough. Even 6 goblins is enough to take down 2 elves. And you'll find out how deadly they can be if we're not prepared. Although having this weapon here definitely helps, which I'm going to use to beat an elf's head in. Doesn't that sound lovely? Hi, Legolas renamed. I'm going to kill this suspicious elf first. If you're wondering why I know it was suspicious, look at everyone's clothing, and then look at this guy's clothing. I'm looking for a fugitive by the name of Caranthea the Cursed. You fit his description. I don't know who you're talking about. You must be confused with something else. Then drop your sword if you are innocent. You have nothing to fear. You will go now and talk to the guard captain, see who is confused. Damn you! Just hit him hard, and before you can even hit me back. That is how you take someone out. And that is why I needed a weapon that could block. Because if he attacked at all, and if I couldn't block, he would have killed me. Because this sword hurts like hell. Anyway, let's put this away. And say hello to Gladvaithor. I'm not going to say that correctly. I'm just going to keep calling him Legolas. I'm Legolas, the commander of the Woodland Realm. What is it? Do you have a task for me? No. Do you have a task for me? Yes. I need to send a letter to Celeborn, who should be currently at Cas Galathon. If you will be heading towards there, will you deliver it to him? The letter needs to be in his hands in 30 days. Certainly, I intend to pass by Cas Galathon, and it will be no trouble. I appreciate it. And that is going to be one of the main missions that we do for this entire campaign, playthrough, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to be going back and forth, being an errand boy, talking to people. Speak to the campmaster, see if you have anything for me. Well, you look able enough. I think I might have something you can do. We've had some fighting near the town lately, and with all the chaos that comes with it, and that's attracted a few bands of tribal orcs to raid the surroundings during the confusion. I need somebody to teach these orcs a lesson. Sound like your kind of work? Aye, I'll do it. This is probably one of the best missions you can get for gathering resources, because tribal orcs always show up in very small groups. They're fast, but we as a small group are faster. And with a low equip load, we're even faster. 2 against 4. Much more even odds. And I'm just going to go past this because a lot of that isn't really necessary to talk about. But it doesn't go away unless you use it. Basically, if you want to have a look at all the controls, go to here, scroll down, and you've got everything that cannot be changed and everything that can be changed. So on and so forth. Let's begin by hunting down these orcs. Get our club out because, again, in this forest, it is not a smart idea to try running or shooting everything around you. It's better to just go in, guns blazing, just hammer everything to death. Let's get this last orc to get killed by Faniel. Not Faniel, Louis Vonner. Faniel is another companion we will meet soon. Come on, Louis Vonner, you can do it. You got the same equipment as me, kind of. Ah. I'm going to keep standing here until you land a shot. Girl, come on. You can do it. There you go. Headshot. Well done, girl. And look at my head all bloody. Victory is ours. And we move on. Bit of damage taken, but that is nothing that we cannot handle. And we're going to hunt down a few more tribal orcs on the way back. And I'm not going to mess up as much this time. Found for the tribal orcs are the weakest of the orcs. There are quite a few different variations of orcs that all look the same, but some are a lot more deadly. Tribal orcs are the easiest to deal with. Then there's like mountain goblins and all kinds of other names for them, but they're all deadly in their own way. Just got to know which of them you can deal with. Thank you, Louis Von, for having my back. They're moving as a troop, which they should not be doing in a forest like this. They should just be running in and trying to kill. And there's Louis Von with her little knife. She has to get in really close to hit with that. While my long stick definitely does a much better job of bashing their heads in. There we go, and we've advanced to level 2. Let us put another point into Charisma. And I'm going to boost our weapon mastery again. I want to really just hammer down on these proficiencies. The more proficient we are with weapons, the more damage we deal, the faster we attack, and in the case of archery, the more accurate we are. So currently with a low proficiency, we're going to not hit a lot, but with a high proficiency, we are going to be doing much more accurate shots every time. And headshot damage can get nutty. It is really good. I'm going to quickly ask for Louis Von to charge. I have no idea where the orc went. It just went right past me. It is staring at me head on. I shot it. Didn't kill it though. Oh, I shot Louis Von. I'm sorry, girl. I didn't see you there. There we go. Last orc killed by Manadhon. And how you doing, girl? Where'd I shoot you? Where'd I shoot you? Oh, God. Okay, you're fine. Okay, and you'll see a lot of different things like this popping up just because it's good to know everything that went on. Because we fought near the Wooden Realm, we got a few rank points. And we are returning firstly to Thranduil's Halls to relay our success in defeating the traitor. And then we shall make our way down south to Celeborn in Calas Galathon. Hello, Thranduil, my lord. I found Calanthea the Cursed hiding in Wood Elf West Camp and gave him his punishment. And we'll all be a lot better off without him. Thank you, Manadhon, for removing this long festering thorn from my side. 'Tis good to know you can be trusted to handle things with an appropriate level of tactfulness. I've sent a note to our intendants already, and you can count on additional supplies from us. Thank you, my lord. I'll notify our attendants of your service, Manadhon. Once again, you've my thanks for ridding me of that disgraceful scoundrel. And that gave us a lot of rank points and a few influence points, which we'll eventually be able to spend on requesting special items. And we can also deliver our resources to other people when we get a large enough trove of them. Currently we're at 511, which is not even enough to buy the knives. We could buy a hat, but it doesn't really suit our armour yet. I'd rather just go straight up to something like this. But the money you have to spend to get this, it gets nutty. So we're going to it's going to be a long time before we get that kind of armour. But don't worry, we'll get there. We helped our allies enough, and there we go. A garrison commander here is looking for a resourceful warrior to take a group of refugees to Escorting. The group must arrive at Escorting within 20 days. Sooner is better, much better, but it must be absolutely no later than 20 days. Can you do that? I can take them to Escorting. Thankfully, Escorting is close enough. I'm going to first go to into Thranduil's Halls and see if I can get any allies. I cannot. We can't recruit anyone yet. It's still only day 1, so no barracks has been replenished. Those refugees are in there. You just have to kind of finesse a bit until you can get to them. Order them to follow. And we just need to hope that nothing crosses our path as we just slowly make our way to Escorting. And it's small things like this that I am not going to show in the future because it is very tedious. And things can get very, very tedious in this game sometimes. But hopefully not too much. There's some tribal orcs there, but right now that's not our concern. Getting these refugees to Escorting is our main concern. The tribal orcs can wait. They'll be back soon. And at night, we have to move slower we can't see as much, but neither can the enemy. And that works in our favour sometimes. Because thankfully the AI isn't too observant of you when at night. Although in day, they can see you from across the screen and they will actually find you. Okay, the refugees have been moved safely to Escorting. And we need to deal with more tribal orcs, and we need to talk to Celeborn. I'm going to actually go firstly into Escorting, speak to the Lord in the hall, speak to Lord Escorting, and see if he has any missions for us, because there is another companion in Dale, which is also very important to our cause. Do I know you? My name is Manadhon, at your service, as I bow gracefully. I am Lord Escorting, a commander of Dale. What is it? We have reports of an enemy host may be gathering in Dol Guldur. Clearly this is a grave concern to me, but I don't know how many troops the enemy has and whether my soldiers will be brave enough to meet them on the field of battle. I want you to get close enough to Dol Guldur and find out as much as you can. You can count on me, sir. Excellent, Manadhon. Excellent. I have every confidence in you. And that is one of the 3 missions that we always get given at the beginning. And this is a nice little note saying, when dealing with Dale, you can't do with things that you do with the Woodland Realm. They don't know you like your kin do. You are a stranger to them. So you must earn their trust. And earn it we shall. For all peoples in this land need to be protected. And each of them, except for Imladris, has a companion that is worth taking interest in. Although Lothlorien is a bit harder to do since it is Glorfindel and he requires a lot of influence and a lot of other things. While Goblin Band has approached. I was attempting to escape. I was thinking of escaping from them, but there's only 2 of them, so I'm not that afraid of 2 mountain orcs. They are more dangerous than their tribal kin, mostly because they have large shields, but there's only 2 of them, and there's 2 of us, and I am more than a match for both of them at once, if necessary. 3 orcs at once, now that's a bit difficult, depending on how they come at us. But yeah, these orcs here, only one of them has a shield up, which means that if I line my shot correctly, I can shoot and kill one, and the other one can be focused on Luivana, keeping her back. But then, keep away from her. There we go. Victory is ours. Yeah, you're going to hear us screaming a lot. Elves have very weird battle cries. Well, victory cries. It has to be said. That's why I haven't done any of myself. Because it's all... well, the males all speak in Elvish. And the females just yell. They yell really loud. If anything, orcs and Uruk-hai probably have the best battle cries. It's just them shouting. Anyway, Dol Guldur, I'm actually going to go to first because scouting the enemy town, we have less time to complete than we have to speak to Celeborn. So I'm going to speak to the elder at Thranduil's halls to get our reward, and we need to deal with more tribal orcs to earn more resources with the campmaster at our other camp. So let's go to Dol Guldur first. Under the cover of night, they won't see us coming. And on the open plains is actually where our archers excel the most. Larger maps make for better cover for archers and cavalry. Smaller maps, like in the forests, it's better to just have full infantry, which you'll see in our lineup for our roster, our little group. I'm not going to keep a large group. I'm going to be typically giving a lot of our troops, once they've leveled up enough, we're going to be giving them to our commanders and our settlements to keep them safe. We've scouted Dol Guldur, now let us be gone. Excuse me, Manadhon, the paths in this part become more twisted and some lead to dead ends. We must be approaching Dol Guldur. Tell me more. I've never ventured this far, but I overheard our Greenwood scouts say there may be Nazgul here. I feel an evil presence, but I cannot put a name to it. It is powerful, though, so let us be prepared. I sense the evil armies behind its walls prepare to march. To fair Lothlorien, to Dale, to my Greenwood homeland? I cannot tell, but please do everything you can to thwart this. We shall, Luivana, we shall. But first let us march to Caras Gabathon and warn Celeborn of whatever Legolas needed us to talk to. I'm going to keep calling him Legolas. I don't care that his name was changed in the Overhaul mod. I don't care. It was Legolas a patch ago, which is a long time ago, and we're now going to explore the forest home of Caras Galathon, since you have to actually explore it to get into the town centre. And I have to say, walking through here is so peaceful. It's so nice just walking through here. Because even though this game is old, and you might think, oh, the textures are old, and this doesn't look anything like it. But honestly, the game has so much detail to it. Just small things that actually make this place feel alive, in a way. It's really satisfying playing this game and looking at this detail. Because it just gives you... You have access to everywhere. Everything you see, you can go to. You can go across all those bridges and just move across all these trees. And if you have to fight a lawless villain, like we did the Cursed in Lothlorien, you have to search every tree to try and find them. And annoying as it is, it's so nice to see. And fighting here is a pain, I have to say though, because it is literally all just twisting paths and small walkways on bridges. Of course, there's the supply master down there. But we've got to keep moving. We have a message to send, and we have no time to waste. Sadly, I didn't get to keep that elven sword that we picked up from that lawless villain. But it's fine. There we have the boyar, the weapon master. Let's keep moving. Go up to the trees. I've been around here enough times now that I actually just remember where to go. I don't even have to think about it. I just lead myself to where I need to be. And we have to turn right. And then left. And here we are at the camp master. Don't look down because we are very high up. The law master even. And then here we come to the centre where we have who's here currently here? Haldir, Celeborn, and Galadriel. And of course Glorfindel, but I'm not going to have to tell you how hard it is to get this guy. And we look almost identical. Let's get moving. Do I know I am Manadhon, at your service, Celeborn. I bring a message from Legolas. Oh, let me see that. Well, it was good of you to bring me this Manadhon. Take my seal as proof that I have received it, and give my regards to Legolas when you see him again. And I would, in some situations, just ask him for the task to find someone else to talk to. But I actually have a system that is going to be able to get me as many companions as possible. Potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give me 6 companions before the war begins. And if I can do that, then we are going to be set for the entirety of the war. We can go literally anywhere we want, and we will be effective in just supplying support wherever we go. Because every companion we get is more training to get our units leveled up faster, so we can get our stuff even quickly. Oh god, my English, my words. My nose is all blocked up. Apologies. The more we do stuff for the factions that have the companions to get the resources needed to maintain them, because they all require different resources depending on which faction they're from. If we can do this enough, it's going to really help our cause. And while we're staying as a small company, we will at times just recruit a bunch of units, sit around with them for a minute, and then give them off to an ally. There was a bunch of resources in return, more than what we pay for the troops because of how much we level them up. And then we'll just be able to do even more for that faction. By supplying the troops, we can leave them alone a lot more. So we'll just be exploring the map constantly, fighting wherever we need to, with a small elite force, where if we get into trouble, we can still hide, thanks to wildcraft. That's why we put so many points into this. Because we survive in the wilderness and bend it to its will. We are obviously a wood elf, so that makes sense. But I would say, no matter who you're playing as, you should always have the ability to have high wildcraft. You need it. You need high wildcraft to survive in this game. Because at any second, if you have an army that can't escape, you have to sacrifice your own soldiers to try and get away, and it won't work. You'll just end up losing everything. And trust me, you don't want that. You want to keep everyone alive for as long as possible. Let's return to... let's talk back to the camp master first. The Mirkwood Elder. To earn our keep for aiding in helping the refugees. Escorting a supply train, we've still not got an army. We could start recruiting some troops from Thranduil's halls, and in fact I shall. But only the basic scouts. We need cheap troops that we don't have to worry too much about their upkeep. Because we're still currently only level 1 in rank. And currently this is going to cost us 9 resources a day. And we're getting 15 a day. So we need to be careful of that. So now we need to return to Lord Escorting to report on our success. We don't need to go do anything with our Wood Elf kin for now. For now, I want to focus on getting another companion in our pocket. And this companion is very good at her job. She needs some gear, but she definitely does a good job at keeping us alive with her early stats. I'm going to move my units up. If you're wondering how I'm doing that, because I'm using keyboard, I just press 0. That tells everyone to move. You can also set different groups to do certain things. Okay, we're getting up close. They're ignoring me and trying to focus me at the same time, which is why they're going to die. Our scouts have the exact same equipment as I do, because I'm technically one of them. But they choose to have those daggers where I don't, because daggers are not good at keeping you alive. We could start upgrading our troops, and in doing so we'll make them better, give them newer equipment, but would also make them cost a hell of a lot more, especially as Mordor, as the elves. And Luivana, who is mostly into pathfinding and wound treatment and spotting, I'm going to put points into intelligence. That means you can invest more points into skill points, and it improves the skills you need outside, well, on the world map. Being able to move faster, being able to see things more, have a better idea of what's coming around the corner with tracking and spotting. We can see things from further away. Could also give a wildcraft because it is a party skill. Party skills are what we want for any big things in particular. Leader skills obviously means only I can interact with them, like leadership, prisoner management, and inventory management. And then there's the personal skills that improve your own, that helps you throw more weight into a battle. We won't need to worry about them for our companions because they're already quite efficient at their jobs. I'm going to put my 2 points, one into pathfinding so we can move a little bit faster. Another point into spotting, so if an enemy is close by that we could take out or we need to run away from, we can see them from further away. And at some point we will give our companions better equipment. We might equip them all with elven armor. We might go to every single faction and buy their elite gear and give them to our companions. For example, there's a Gondor companion. We might give them full Citadel Guard armor. Rohirrim, we can just get full Rohirrim armor. It all depends on what is at hand. We meet again, Manadhon. About the task you gave me, indeed I have scouted Dol Guldur, and that has gained us 12 rank points and 2 influence with Dale. It is an honour to serve. Can you give me any more tasks? Give a letter to Chief Grimbeorn at Beorn's house. I can do that. And let us speak to the quartermaster. Supply with food. You need 3 units of food. I will see what I can do, good sir, because if we give him the food, we'll actually get more money back than what we had to spend on the food. So we just need to go somewhere else where they have food. Let's get the cheapest food we can. So dried meats and smoked fish. Let's make sure they don't eat the lambas, because that's definitely what we want. A lot better than dried meat and fish. Let's go back to Escorting. And let's give them some food. Hopefully, please don't take the lambas. That's kind of one of the best things I have. Okay, smoked fish and the dried meat are gone. And I have now leveled up to rank 3, giving us a rank point and 240 resource points. I spent a little bit less than that, so we got our money back. Not only that, but we got more of it. I leveled up again, so let's go back to our character sheet, which I can select by pressing C, or clicking on the bottom, seeing a character. And up my charisma again, we can now up our wildcraft even more, but for now, I'm instead... Oh, what do we do? Athletics could be good. Improving our running speed, yes, because I'm running around a lot on the battlefield. I'm going to put more points into archery where we can, and then any last points into two-handed, and then fight some tribal orcs. The more tribal orcs we fight, the more resource points we're going to be getting from Mirkwood. We could save this all the way to the last day, and then get thousands upon thousands of resource points, and that's probably what I'm going to do, because that way I don't have to do as much for our wooden elf allies. Even though I could, and I probably should, there are some people that are probably going to say I should be focusing on my one faction, but the whole thing is I want to try and get the companions. They are really good to get before the war, because getting stuff after the war, well, once the war's begun, can be difficult, especially when commanders constantly just run around everywhere. Oh, I kind of shot them all dead, didn't I? Well, all the points to me, all the experience to me. That's fine. We'll let our elves do a bit more in time. Let's deliver this message to Greenwood the Old, and we'll end this part once we get our second companion from Dale, and then we'll work on getting more companions later. And in the future, I will be cutting down the parts where I'm just walking through. If we encounter an enemy that I'll actually fight, I will show that. If it's an enemy we've faced like 20 times and I'm just kind of standing there waiting for my allies to do all the work, then I'll cut that out as well. It's just a lot of things to plan for the future. I just want to speak my mind so I know what I'm wanting to do. Chief Greenwood the Old. He's got some wargs and a Dunland wolf head on his wall. He's earned those heads. Do I know you? My name is Manadhon, at your service, Chief Greenwood the Old. I have a letter from Lord Escorting. Well, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I pressed that too soon. That's a shame, because this quest is really good, and I'm not going to get it for about a few days now, because I don't have a large enough troop. I should have gotten 10 troops before I started talking to people again. We received reports that our scouts that a raiding party is on its way to a village near Bayon's camp. Are they able to send men? We can, but it will not be. We can, but it will take time to mobilize. And unfortunately, I have no ability to say yes to this request. So I'm just going to have to say I currently cannot. The men must be at least 10 or stronger to begin the quest, which is why I want to, before the end of this video, get at least 10 troops. We should only need 3 more to make 9, and then the last companion will make 10. They have no more volunteers over here. I'm going to see if we have a bow I can get. A short bow, nice. And, all the arrows are expensive for wood elves. Of course they are. The bow is enough, thank you. Our boy, in fact, let's actually get some money from this, because this camp master who wants us to kill the tribal orcs. That's 200, and not enough yet. Still more tribal orcs abroad. And the more we kill, the more we will get. Mountain goblins do not count as tribal orcs, so let us keep moving. Make our way to Dale. Let's just check our reports first. We have 3 influence with Dale. I believe that is enough to get this next companion, so we shall make our way to there. Oh, I shouldn't have sped that up because I was some tribal orcs just walked past. Oh, we've got a battle going on here, but it looks like the rune scouts were beating whoever was over there, so I'm going to keep out of that tussle. Our force is not enough to beat a cavalry force in a forest. That is a bad idea for us. We should not be trying to deal with these scouting parties right now, and in fact we should try and keep away from them at all costs, and in case that happens, we hide from the enemy. Having a small party has its benefits. You and your troops hide from the enemy for a few hours to be sure you are not seen. And yeah, we just have to wait for about 5 hours. It kind of speeds up a little bit, but after a while you'll see time passes and we can move on. We're moving to Dale. Let's just go to the castle. No, don't go to the castle. Approach the city, because I forgot. Companions now rest on the outskirts of the town, not in the town centre. They changed that as well. So let's approach the city of Dale in its almost reformed glory. Dale Militia. Mind your manners around here and we'll have no trouble. Of course. My weapons are sheathed. You will not see any conflict from here, my friends. You see their banner. I'm trying to think what that is. Is that 2 horns? Oh no, it's a crown. Of course it's a crown. Looks like a crown of leaves like that of the elves. At least I think it's a crown. Someone tell me what that is, if you know. So that looks like a crown to me. And look at this armor here for Dale. Exactly like it is from the movie. Good day, Commander. What's the latest rumour around here? Our prosperity comes with trade with the dwarves and the elves. But it's hard to bargain with dwarves. Very little profit there. Can you tell me about this place? This is Dale, Commander. This place and the surrounding lands belong to King Brand of Dale. Leave. Okay, let's continue. Let's meet up with our second companion. Oh, we got a guy sitting on here. Let's join him. Ah, I didn't want to do that. I forgot that was the wrong button. I messed up. Okay, let's just go. I pressed tab instead of pressing shift or space. I forgot space was my jump button. I'm going to jump on here. And then Z is a crouch button. There you go. And now I'm sitting on the wall. Okay, let's get moving. Let's get ready to end this starting episode, which I've been enjoying. It's a nice change of pace from Edain. Not that I'm bored of Edain or anything. It just comes a point where it's nice to have a bit of variety, and it's been like 2 years since I've had some variety. So let's hope this one lasts as long as possible. And we enjoy it all the way through. Yeah, look at that. Every small detail here you can interact with. It's difficult to interact with all of it, but you can interact with all of it. And yeah, just look at that, those small things. You've got water coming down from here, from a sewer system, because toilets exist, I think. Anyway, let us speak to our soon-to-be companion, who's currently aiding in someone's recovery. Thaniel! Welcome to Dale, traveller. How can I help you? Greetings. I was wondering if there are any volunteers here to join us in our travels. I'm sure you can find some fine volunteers if you speak to the quartermaster in the barracks. As for me, I'm merely a healer and herbalist of modest skills. I treated my King Brand for constipation, a common malaise affecting men going to war. A little brew of wormwood and both the bowels and the mind are put at ease. I hear there is much fighting elsewhere, and our lands are gratefully spared from it. From the scratches on your armour, you must have been in danger many times. Maybe my humble skills could be better used with your company, for the greater good of all. We can use a healer and a herbalist. Indeed. Well then, I merely need to gather my herbs and recipes. I must warn you though, I am fairly useless in battle, but I'm sure you'll be able to keep a woman of my age safe. You'll be safe with us, I promise. We'll be leaving shortly. The king's well-being is important, but you will save more lives with me. And now we have a company of 10. Nope, we have a company of 7. I haven't recruited the other elves yet. Okay, let us return to Thranduil's halls, and then we shall gather the rest of the troops ready for the end of the video. And then we shall carry on next time with a force big enough to do other small tasks that some people might be asking of us, but we have not in the past been able to do. And now we have our force. Thaniel, for now, doesn't have a lot. We did give her a bow, but unfortunately that bow is not enough. We need to actually give her some ammunition for that bow, or if our smithy can provide us another bent club, there we go. She's now got a weapon to protect herself. Because unfortunately, while we have a large army, well, when we have a small army, everyone must participate. But I will, in the spirit of things, put our companions into a separate command group, so that when I need to, I can command the archers and our companions separately. Because even though our companions get wounded and don't die, ever, they can still take severe damage, and it's better to keep them alive and well. Because if they lose HP, that HP doesn't reset. The Greenwood Scouts, their HP will reset. Alright then, that is everything for today. I hope you've all enjoyed this. It has been a good start, I think. We've got everything under control for our beginnings. We will be moving down to Gondor and Rohan shortly to gather our companions here as well. And then we shall return north to complete our other tasks. As I said already, at level 12, we shall... the war shall begin. and we will see how long it takes us to get that point. I think we'll gather our companions just in time, but that will all depend upon what missions we are given and how well we can handle them. So, I will see you all next time. Farewell.